So now the cleanup begins, and this is going to set the stage for an interesting end of the race. Not that it wasn't going to be.
Just entering into the turn a little bit low, got into the wall, got some air underneath the front of the car, just like Mario Andretti did back in April when he was testing here for his son's team, Michael. Get a little bit of a wiggle right mid-turn. Car goes up towards the wall. He's lost control. He's just a passenger now, and it gets that little bit of air underneath there, and away it goes.
And unfortunate for him and everybody else that the car stayed up toward the wall then. Well, that's frightening.
That's spectacular. Amazing to see him at that speed be able to hop out. As we can see, hitting the outside wall into that safer barrier, he was already high, way off the groove on the racetrack when we came into view. You can see there he goes, makes hard right side compound.
And unfortunate for him and everybody else that the car stayed up toward the wall then.
That's a pretty major hit. Jack Arute, you were keeping track on his two-way radio.
We'll have to go back and have a look at that, but remember we talked about Sam Hornish flipping over just last week. Well, I sat with the Penske guys before. As we see right now, down below with Bourdais. Bourdais is going to get a wiggle there because he's down the white line, pushes Sam up outside the groove. We're getting past half distance right now, and those rubber marbles I was just mentioning a moment ago are starting to creep down into the racing line, and those right front wheels, Sam gets on the rubber marbles and takes it right up into that safer barrier, and that was the cause of that incident. But going back to the Marlboro guys, Penske turned around after Sam hurt his knee on this flip over crash. They turned around and came back with some suits with little pockets on the knees and put in some Kevlar carbon fiber protectors over the knees for these drivers in case it ever happened again. So we see Sam Hornish's car going back into the wall. We're right along right now with Scott Sharp. See how far down low Sebastian Bourdais is. He comes up, gets a wiggle, and just turns around and takes out Sam Hornish.
And unfortunate for him and everybody else that the car stayed up toward the wall then.
He's already up in the gray, guys, and we're not sure why he got there. Maybe the car underneath him, he let the car go through, and that's on the exit of 3, so he's up on the north end in the short chute. But I can tell you, he's a young rookie who did a very good job coming here with a lot of pressure on him from sponsors and a lot of following from Canada. This is something he didn't want to have happen, Eddie.
What has changed lately is the wind is now pushing the cars faster down the back straight, and they're probably picking up 3 or 4 miles an hour going into 3. But obviously he was hung out when he was past going into that corner, and we've seen that there just isn't enough grip once you get out of the line.
Yeah, you heard Jamie talk about the wind change, and let's listen and watch. Ouch.
And unfortunate for him and everybody else that the car stayed up toward the wall then.
Now watch this, the 88 of Brian Clausen. As we roll through here, just watch. He's already a little bit high. I think what he was trying to do was trying to give some space to the cars behind because he's been off pace just a little bit. Once you get into that gray section, you lose all grip there. There's no black, there's no rubber, and then he just loses grip, goes up into the wall. But give him credit. He's a guy that comes here once a year. He's only been here twice, and you know, he is a two-time winner of the National Sprint Car Championship, and I watched a little bit of him on television this past winter knowing that he was coming here again, and those guys can drive cars with high horsepower, no grip sideways. I mean, I'm really impressed with his talent.
And unfortunate for him and everybody else that the car stayed up toward the wall then.
Top of the screen there. Top right. When he comes into view, he's completely crossed up.
Back into the car is already giving way here. He was a long right there. Nose into the wall.
Look at everybody after him take to that safety apron that's paved over there. Caught that wall just past the end of the safer barrier, too. And he's lucky all the cars be grass.
And unfortunate for him and everybody else that the car stayed up toward the wall then.
It just snapped on him. Just right in the middle of the corner, just snapped on him.
Right along on board, I thought I heard him say over the radio that he felt like something broke.
He didn't stand a chance.
Turn 2, exit. Back. Yeah, into the wall. Hold on.
smartly
Taking your hands
away
off
from the steering wheel.
With an open wheel car, you do that because if your hands are on the steering wheel and those wheels hit the wall, it could break your wrist or your thumb when that wheel violently snaps around.
He made a small correction, Scott, very small. Then he just could not get enough steering wheel in.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's back end of the car was coming around, Eddie, as you mentioned there. That's called a loose condition where the back end wants to come around on you. And it looks like he was trying to deal with it, and maybe it just came around on him. When it comes around on you like that, as you know, sometimes you think something broke, but that was probably an imbalanced race car.